Hello everybody, my name is Trucker Mike, and today I'm going to do a little short video on this year's DOT Blitz 2019. The Blitz is from June 4th through the 6th, and in this video I'm going to show you 8 key factors that can help you pass that inspection. Right here. Every minute, close to 20 trucks or buses across North America are inspected by the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, or CVSA. Now think about that. Every minute, 20 plus trucks are being inspected, being shut down, placed out of service for faulty equipment, for faulty parts that are in your truck. But today, I'm going to give you 8 key factors on what to look for, what to check, what they're going to be checking on your truck, so you can pass your inspection if you get pulled over, pulled into a scale, and get checked. So let's get right to it. This year's focus on this DOT Blitz is steering and suspension. Okay? You want to check for steering lash. Now there's a couple ways to check that. This is your pitman arm connected to your gearbox. You want to move that, see if it'll move. There's no lash, there's no play in that. Also, check this. See if it's tight. You see, as I'm turning that, it's moving that. Now this is my truck. I just got this gearbox and this pitman arm replaced about 3 weeks ago or so. So I'm good. But on your suspension, you also want to check your rear suspension, but I'm just going to show you suspension parts. You want to look, see if there's any cracks in your suspension, your leaf springs, your U-bolts holding your leaf springs to your steering axle. Just check for loose bolts, loose parts, you know, do that for the back. Now, I've included in this video a slide of the allowable distance for your lash, and it all depends on the size of your steering wheel. So look at that, see what size steering wheel you have, and see if you have that much play, if it's within that distance. If not, you need to get that fixed. That's a DOT violation. Tip and key number 2 is the brake system. And I'm back here in my rear brakes. You want to check your brake pads, which is this right here, and make sure they're good. Look for any missing parts, broken parts, loose parts, cracked drums, or anything like that in your brake system. You also want to do this on the front brakes as well. Now some of these things you might not going to be able to check. You're probably going to have a mechanic do it. And one of those things is check the length of your brake chambers and your slack adjuster. Now that's the slack adjuster right there connected to my brake chamber. That's a new brake chamber, those are new slack adjusters. I had a mechanic put those on. So that's probably one of the things that you're going to have a mechanic check for. Tip 3, key number 3, is your coupling and fifth wheel components. You want to check your fifth wheel, you want to check your bolts. Make sure they're nice and tight. Make sure it's lubed properly. Also, let's go around here. Make sure your jaws are working properly. Make sure your fifth wheel is not cracked or broken or anything like that. Tip 4, your fuel and exhaust system. You want to make sure your no fuel leaks. Make sure your fuel filter, which is that right there on my truck, is not leaking. Check the fuel lines as much as possible if you can get to them. I also got another fuel filter down here. Make sure it's not leaking. Make sure the hoses going into this fuel filter are not leaking. Sorry for the noise. Come back here and just check your fuel tanks. Make sure there are no leaks, no holes in it. They're not leaking on the ground. Make sure the connections back there are not leaking. Your pickup tubes. And as far as the exhaust goes, just make sure there's no exhaust leaks. Which I'm not going to climb underneath my truck to show you, but again, this may be an area where you want a mechanic to check it. To climb underneath there and check it. When I had my truck in the shop a few weeks ago, I had them check that stuff. Tip number 5, check your frame. You can start from the front of your truck. Your frame starts right here and it goes all the way back. Just check for any cracks, any fatigue. You go back here. Well, you can somewhat check on here. You're gonna have the flashlight. Just go back there and check your frame. You can get a really good look at it back here. Just check your frame all the way to the back. You want to check for cracks, fatigue, holes. Tip number 6 is your lighting. I'm going to start here at the back of my truck. I'm going to check my tail lights. Make sure they're blinking, they're on. I got my 4-ways on. They are working. I'll walk over here to the front of my truck. Make sure all your lights work. Whatever's on your truck needs to work. There's my turn signals on the hood or the side hood. My headlights are on, they're working. Passenger side, driver side, headlights working. And then look at your clearance lights up there. You should have 5 of them. All 5 of mine are working. Look, my light on the side of the hood is working. So if you have a light on your truck, make sure they're the right color. Okay, let's go back here. A good rule of thumb is any lights facing forward of your truck or to the side have to be amber. Okay? That's why your clearance lights up top are amber, your turn signals up front are amber. Now, as you get to the rear of the truck, your tail lights, brake lights have to be red. If it's facing backwards, it has to be red. A lot of people have lights on the back of their cab. And if you're going to run them at night, or run them period during the day, if it's facing backwards, they have to be red. So make sure your lights are working. Make sure no missing parts. Check for bad wiring. All that stuff. Key number 7 is load securement. Now I can't show you your load securement because I'm sitting in the driveway of my house, but I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to make sure your load is secured, whether it's using straps, load bars, if it's a type of load that has to be nailed to the floor, which if you're a reefer driver, that's kind of hard to do because we got aluminum floors. But regardless, make sure your load is secure and you have the proper amount of load bars for the load that you are hauling. Very important, because the DOT has the right to break that seal on your trailer and open them doors to check for load securement. So always have straps, load bars, anything that is illegal and complies with the requirements that CVSA puts on us for load securement. The final key, number 8, is tires. Now make sure on the tires, you want to make sure and check that you have the proper tread depth. On steer tires, they're going to be no less than 4/32. Make sure there's no improper wear and tear. Make sure they're inflated properly. Also check your rear tires as well. The rear tires, let's go back and look. Your rear tires can be no less than 2/32. Now these are Michelin XDN2s. I know I checked mine, they're within the tread depth. Make sure they're inflated properly. No holes, no bulges, no nothing. Alright, so those are the 8 key factors on what DOT is going to be looking at during the June 4th through the 6th DOT Blitz 2019. This year's focus is on steering and suspension, so make sure your steering and suspension is good to go. Also, a lot of those things that I showed you, that I was able to show you, you might want to take it into a local TA or a Petro or a Love's truck stop, or if you drive for Prime, like I do, take it into any of your major terminals: Springfield, Missouri, Salt Lake City, Utah, or Pittston, PA. Take it into one of them, make an appointment, and have them look over your truck, look over all those components and everything, and make sure you're good to go. If they're not, get them fixed. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something from it. I'm Trucker Mike, and I'll see you guys next time.